really just allowing yourself to be proud of every single moment. So for me, it has been a huge point of reflection just being in this month and even thinking about all of the things that have. Hello, welcome to Authentically Aligned, a wellness podcast where we speak on all things wellness, from fitness and nutrition to meditation and mindfulness, healing, growth, self-help, and so much more. If you are a new listener, welcome to the podcast. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your love and support. And I want you to know that I am sending you that same love and support right back. Today, it's really on my heart to talk about the way that you celebrate yourself. And just like the last podcast, as this year comes to an end, I think it is a perfect topic to reflect on. And as we reflect on our year ahead, I think it's important to remember all of the things that we should be celebrating about ourselves. I think that oftentimes, as we tend to close the year out, we think about the things that we should have done or we could have done or we wish that would have happened. But it's so important for us to take this time to really reflect on the growth that has happened, on the change that has happened, on the expansion that has happened, and the success that has happened in this past year. Every little moment that you had, every little win, every little thing that you accomplished brought you to exactly where you are today. And oftentimes we don't celebrate the small things because we don't feel like they're worth celebrating. But the reality is all of those small things are absolutely worth celebrating because they're contributing to the growth of you and your life and everything that you're doing. And I think that we have a hard time celebrating ourselves. I think that we are our own biggest critic. We are our own worst enemies. So why would we celebrate ourselves? But it makes life so much more fun when you can take the time to have a celebration for something that you accomplished, for something that you have built on and grown on, and really just allowing yourself to be proud of every single moment. So for me, it has been a huge point of reflection just being in this month and even thinking about all of the things that have come to me, all of the opportunities that have come to me, all of the successes that have come to me because of all of the little moves that I made that I probably didn't celebrate or I could have celebrated. And when we start to celebrate our small wins, it is another practice of gratitude. It is another way of practicing self-love because we were disciplined enough to show up, complete the task at hand, and move forward. And that is absolutely something that should be celebrated. It should be honored, and you should really be proud of yourself for the way that you are moving in a forward way. I think that anybody who is listening to this podcast has some sort of a desire to grow and become better and expand their lives. And I'm so grateful that you are a listener. But also, I want you to recognize how important it is to celebrate yourself. Whether it's doing something small, like just reflecting and feeling that joy and excitement and warmth that is inside of you when you accomplish something or complete something, or maybe that's celebrating by taking care of yourself. Maybe that's celebrating by taking yourself to get a massage or taking yourself out to dinner or cooking yourself a nice dinner. Or maybe it's celebrated by further investing in whatever it is that you are moving forward toward. Recognizing that we all desire to be recognized. We all desire for people to see us. And I think that it's really cool when you realize that you can see yourself. You can recognize yourself for the incredible, amazing things that you are doing in your life. So if it isn't already, I encourage you to make celebrating yourself a part of your routine. Make it a part of your daily practice. Find ways that you can continue to pour into yourself and really just give yourself a big hug for everything that you are and will continue to accomplish. Something that I think about when I think about celebrating myself and my own growth journey is that all of the little tasks and all of the little moves, they seem so tedious. They seem so redundant. They seem so small. And the thing is, though, is that all of these moves, yes, though they may be small, they are contributing to a bigger picture. So oftentimes you can compare it to losing weight and working out, right? So if you're working out every single day, you're gradually losing weight, but you look in the mirror every single day, you're not noticing the results because you're seeing yourself every single day. But before you know it, all of a sudden, you see yourself in a completely different way. And working towards your goals and your dreams and your visions is the exact same way. If you're working toward it every single day, you are making that progress, whether it's little by little by little. But then you look back and you have completed something that is so much bigger than what you even realized. But because all of the moves seem so small, it's hard to understand the capacity in which you've grown. So I think it's really important for us to take the time to reflect back on the year and understand how much growth has happened within you within the year. And then take a minute to think about all of the moves that it took, every little thing that you had to do, all of the discipline, all of the early mornings, all of the late nights, all of the turning down going to different things because you were so focused and locked in on yourself and taking care of yourself. And when you really start to recognize those moments, you, number one, build such a confidence within yourself because you are realizing the discipline that you have. You're realizing the way that you can show up for yourself. And then you are recognizing how much love you really do pour into yourself by continuously showing yourself that discipline, by continuously getting up early, by continuously going to the gym, by continuously doing the self-work, by continuously working on your business, whatever it is that may be. And I think that, a lot of times when we are looking for something to celebrate, we're looking for something that's visible. We're looking for something that's tangible. And probably 8 times out of 10, at least, the things that we are accomplishing are not visible. They're not tangible. And so we feel like we're stagnant. We feel like we're stuck. We feel like in a place that shouldn't be celebrated. But if you got up every day and showed the same discipline or a similar amount of discipline, then that is absolutely something that should be celebrated. I think that as we close out on this past year and we move into a new year, it is a perfect time to think about celebrating. We celebrate the new year. Okay, new, fresh year. Okay, that's amazing. Yes, I'm so excited for that. But how about also thinking and taking the time to celebrate this past year and all of the accomplishments you've made, all of the growth that you've seen? Because when we start to do this, we really have much more of an appreciation for life. We're able to slow down, take a few steps back, and realize that yes, although the years are passing us by, we are present and we are aware of every beautiful moment that is happening within our lives. Talking about being present, I think that is a great way to find awareness in the areas that you can celebrate yourself more. Because if we're not being present and we're waiting for the next big thing and we're going through the motions and we're walking through life in zombie mode, which I did for many, many, many years, you don't take the time to celebrate. You don't take the time to recognize the growth that has happened. You know, it's almost like the image of seeing a plant grow. And oftentimes all of the roots grow downward before the plant actually grows. And so you're not seeing the successes, but you're building that foundation for a huge success, for a huge moment of growth. But when you can start to slow down and be present enough to notice each little root that is growing underground, that is building that foundation, that is keeping you solid, that is keeping you grounded, literally and figuratively, then you're able to have so much more of an appreciation for all of the work that you've put in. You're able to truly celebrate that work rather than waiting for the big picture to finally come, waiting for the plant, the flower to finally bloom. You're able to appreciate the work and the water and the sunlight and the soil and everything that went into growing that one little root or those 2 or 3 or 4 little roots that eventually will create this huge blossoming plant. And as we continue to step into this and we continue to allow ourselves to celebrate our little successes, then the big successes feel even bigger. Because if we're celebrating a small win, absolutely, why would we not celebrate a big, giant, huge win or a huge success or growth? And admire the track that you've been on. Admire the hard work, the dedication that has gone into whatever it is that you are working toward and moving to. This is also a very great time for you to reflect back on your vision board, and maybe not even the vision board from this past year, but maybe if you have vision boards from 2, 3, 4 years ago, taking a minute to reflect on those things and see how far you really have come, or how much you have changed, or how much you have grown, and how many of the things that you put on your vision board have actually come to light. Oftentimes when we create a vision board for a year, we think that, oh, I want all of this to happen in this next year. And of course, yes, some of those things may happen, but some of the things may still continue to happen. If you have a dream and you have a vision for something, the likelihood of you achieving it is highly likely. It's just a matter of when you're going to achieve it. So reflecting back on past goals, dreams, visions that you've created, and taking note of all that have been accomplished, and taking note of the forward movement that you have toward the ones that you have not yet accomplished. And then taking time to set new visions, set new dreams, set new goals for this upcoming year. And again, like I said, maybe all of these things won't happen in this next year, but you have a vision for it. You're going to keep moving forward. You're going to keep using your discipline and your work ethic to make these things happen, whether it be 1 year from now, whether it be 2, 3, or 4 years from now. And recognizing that probably all of the things on your past vision boards that you have achieved, those things have come with hard work. So what are all of the little things that you had to make happen in order for these visions to come to light? And how can you start to celebrate those little movements? Even if you didn't in the past, moving forward, these little movements should be celebrated. These little wins, even if it's just a pat on the back, even if it's just you recognizing yourself, even if it's just you taking time to reflect and think, wow, I really did that. I'm really doing that. I'm really growing and moving forward toward the things that I'm passionate about. So continuing to create those vision boards, continuing to aspire, to manifest, to visualize, to dream. And then when you are doing the things that you know are required for these visions, for these manifestations, for these dreams, celebrating those little wins. We think that, the only time that we should be celebrating is on a holiday or our birthdays, whatever. But what would happen if we started to celebrate life? We started to celebrate the little things. We even started to celebrate the failures, because we talk about this all the time. The failures are actually what propel you forward. The pullbacks before the launch forward, that is the momentum behind what you are trying to achieve. So when you're able to celebrate the failures, when you're able to say, wow, I really messed up, but guess what? I learned so much from this. I'm not going to do that again. I grew so much from this. I learned that I have to be mindful of the way that I pour into my business or myself or others. When you have these recognitions, then you really start to appreciate every single moment. And then it is just adding to your place of gratitude. It's adding to the unconditional love that you have for yourself. It's adding to the self-compassion that you have for yourself. It's adding to the trust that you have within yourself. Taking time to reflect on the ways that you as an individual have grown, the ways that you have continued to stimulate your mind or do the self-reflection or work on your emotional intelligence or work on setting boundaries, all of these amazing things that take the hard work, that take the dedication. A lot of the work is the work that people don't want to do. And that's why people stay stuck in their ways. But you are on a growth track. You are on the road to success, and you have a vision, and you are pouring into that vision every single day, whether, like I said, it's something tangible or visible or not. Celebrating yourself for wanting to be a better version of yourself, celebrating yourself for becoming 1% better every single day, knowing that you showed up for yourself the very best that you could at that moment. You gave all of the capacity that you had. Maybe there's one day that you only have 40% of yourself to give. That's all you have. But if you give that entire 40%, then in that day, you gave 100% of yourself. Recognizing that, celebrating that. Growth is not linear. The ebbs and flows of life are always going to get to you. You are always going to go up to come right back down. But guess what? You're going to go right back up again. So celebrating in every moment and recognizing that life is too short to not be celebrating every moment. You never know what tomorrow brings. You never know what next year brings. You never know what the next 5 years bring. So stay present and celebrate every little moment that you can. And this doesn't have to be in a luxurious way. It really can just be taking the time to reflect and show gratitude and give yourself a smile, send yourself some love, and really just show yourself how proud of yourself that you really are. As we close out this year, I just have to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to all of you that continue to watch and listen and show love and support. And beyond that, come to my events and show love in a numerous amount of ways. Because without the love and support, none of what I do would be possible. And I also want you guys to take a minute to celebrate yourselves for taking the time to take in this information, to soak up the information, and then apply the information, for the desire to grow and learn and be better. That is absolutely something that should be celebrated. The work of healing, the work of being mindful, the work of staying present, pouring love into yourself, setting boundaries, None of these are minuscule things. These are all huge, huge, huge accomplishments that whether you have fully tackled them or you're just starting to tackle them, they are going to benefit you in the long run. They're going to benefit you for the rest of your life. So as you continue to pour into yourself and have the desire to grow and have those hard conversations, whether it be with yourself or with somebody else, or you have the emotional moments, you have the hard times, show yourself grace and know that although it doesn't feel like it, those moments should absolutely be celebrated, and they absolutely are the important moments in your growth and success and becoming the person that you desire to be. As this year comes to a close and as the new year starts, I encourage you to set new goals, set new visions, set new manifestations, not only for the physical, but setting new goals and dreams and manifestations within you. How do you want to show up in 2025? What is that going to require of you? What work do you need to do on yourself, on your emotional intelligence, on your self-awareness, on your spirit, on your soul to show up as the person that you would like to be in 2025? And make those things a priority, because not always are our successes tangible and visible. A majority of our successes come from within. They come from the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we show up for ourselves, and the way that we pour into ourselves. So create those visions, decide what it's going to take of you to move forward in those visions. And as long as you are continuously, consciously making the effort to become better every single day, by the end of 2025, you will be a completely different person than you are right now. Thank you so, so, so much for all of your support this year. I am sending you so much love and light and so many blessings for the holidays and this upcoming new year. Have a beautiful rest of your month.